But my mate said, welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and in today's video we're going to carry on in our series of videos about doing your research into getting into the mining industry. And in this video we're going to talk about people that take advice from their mates. But my mate told me. So you see a lot of this on the Facebook pages, and I'm going to go over to the Win-Win page because they get a lot of comments that come like this, that people make statements that they've been told to go and get their gas testing, confined space, white card, S11, working at heights, dump truck ticket, basically everything under the sun, without doing any real research into how to get a job, and then they plaster it all over Facebook saying, I've done all this sort of stuff, help me get a job. So they sort of put the cart before the horse. And the problem with taking advice from mates is, unless they're a shift boss with 30 years experience, or unless they're specifically working in the industry, then the advice that they're giving you is probably not right. It's probably incorrect. And, you just don't have to look at any further than tickets to work that out. Most people will go and tell you that you need to get equipment tickets to work on a mine site, when the reality is that the majority of the mine sites in Australia, they have to issue all their own equipment tickets on site. That's what they have to do in a regulatory basis, because most of the hard rock mines, or most of the mines around the country, don't fall under the national system, they fall under the state system. And that's just an example of where people go wrong right out of the gate. So you've listened to your mate, and your mate's told you to go and get a bunch of tickets. So the tickets don't work, so where do you go from there? And that's the whole thing that I'm trying to say with this video, is that when you take advice from somebody that's not from the industry, the result that you're going to get is probably a poor one. And especially with mining, because there's no one size fits all to mining, unfortunately. Every area of the industry is different, and every area requires a different response. And you only have to look at the difference between coal in Queensland and hard rock. Coal in Queensland wants you to go and get dump truck tickets. Hard rock, they want to issue their own. All that hard rock want is they want you to know how their mine works. They want 1 day working at heights. They want a police clearance. They want a manual car license. That's it. Whereas shutdown work and construction work, and like I said, coal in Queensland, they want you to have a whole heap of tickets that they need you to have for their site. The actual mining production jobs, it goes a very different way. So what your mate tells you is probably not right, and like I said, unless your mate's from the industry. And even if your mate is from the industry, if they're trying to tell you how to get a job, are they trying to tell you how to get a shutdown job or a mining production job? And that's really the question that you've got to ask yourself. When you're getting advice off your mate, how good is that actual advice going to be? And in most cases, not very much. And like I said, our page as well, mining jobs that you don't need a trade or degree for, it's full of people asking those sort of questions over and over again. And that's why we steer them towards the sponsor's DIY training package, the intro to underground mining that underground training does. It teaches you everything that the employer wants you to know to get a hard rock underground mining job. And there's lots of those around at the moment. You can pick them up all over the country. It's just about giving the employer what they want, opposed to what your mate thinks that they want. So I hope you found that information helpful. And like I said, if you're listening to your mate and you've taken your mate's advice, unless they're from the mining industry, it's probably not going to work out for you, unfortunately. So if you could share this video around and like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.